I'm Jayda, I'm Gill's daughter from the Health and Wellbeing team, and I'm going to be showing you how to make brownies today. So first off, you need 100 grams of slightly softened butter, 150 grams of chocolate or hazelnut spread, whichever you prefer, 200 grams of dark chocolate broken up into pieces, 150 grams of plain flour, sieved, 200 grams of golden caster sugar and 3 eggs. We're just waiting on an extra egg. So first off, you want to break up the dark chocolate and add in the butter and the chocolate spread. And you want to pop that one in the microwave for about 15 to 20 seconds, depending on how powerful your microwave is, and keep stirring until it's all melted. So this has been in the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds. As you can see, the butter and the chocolate spread has melted, but the dark chocolate hasn't. So if you just keep stirring it, you might start to feel the dark chocolate melting a little bit more, but if it doesn't, then just pop it back in the microwave for a couple more seconds. So this has been in the microwave for about, probably add up to about 1 minute. You need to just make sure that it's like a nice glossy finish and there's no bits of chocolate in it. So what you want to do is just set that aside and leave that to cool. And then what you want to do in another bowl is crack 3 eggs into the bowl. And then pour in 200 grams of caster sugar. And then with an electric whisk or a hand whisk, you want to beat the eggs and the sugar all together until you get like a light fluffy consistency. So once you've whisked the eggs and the sugar together, you want to pour this mixture into the chocolate mixture. As you can see, it's still really glossy, but try and make sure that you let the chocolate cool, because or else the hot chocolate will just scramble the eggs. So if we just pour this in here, maybe use a spatula to get all of the remains out. Like that. And then what you want to do with this is use another electric whisk to just mix it all together, make sure it's really light and fluffy, try and get as much air in there as possible. So now I've mixed the chocolate and the egg mixture together, so I'm just going to sieve in my flour. This is already sieved, but I'm just a bit conscious that I don't really want lumps of flour in the brownies. So just sieve all of this in, because you want them to be like light and airy. Okay, then you get your spatula or your spoon. I'm going to use a spoon, and you want to just fold in the flour just to keep the air in there as much as possible. So just fold that all in until all of the flour has dissolved. It does take quite a long time, so you just have to be quite patient with it. Now I've folded in all the flour, but what you want to do is you want to scrape down to the bottom of the bowl just to make sure that it's all mixed in, because you don't want lumps of flour. So I found this recipe on BBC Good Food, and obviously you can be like as creative as you want with it. So I found some little Kinder chocolates that I'm just going to put in just to add a little bit of like differentiation. So I'm just going to mix all that in. So they're all coated in the mixture. And then what you want is a deep rectangular tray. I'm not too sure what size this one is. And what I've done is I've put a little bit of oil in it, and then I've just spread it all around. You just want as much oil as you can, because or else they're just a nightmare to unstick. So then preheat the oven to gas mark 4, gas mark 5. I'm not too sure what that is in Fahrenheit or centigrade. So it is quite a thick mixture, so you have to be quite consistent with scraping it out. Just going to grab a spatula. Scrape it all into the tray. There we go, and then you can just spread it into the corners of the baking tray. Don't worry about it being really even, because obviously it will, when you heat it up, it will just melt down. And then pop that one in the oven for about 30 minutes. When you take it out, it will be quite rised. So if you just check in the corners, it should be more of like a cake-like consistency in the corners. Take it out and then it will sink, but don't worry about it. And then you have to let it set, or else when you try and cut it up, it's just really gooey. So there we go. So these have been in the oven on gas mark 4/5 for about 33-34 minutes. So I'm just going to use a skewer to stab in the little middle there, and it's come out pretty much clear. It doesn't really matter if there's a little bit on there. So these have been out the oven for about 5 minutes now, and what I'm going to do is use a plastic knife to cut them up, because when you take them out of the tin, it's so much easier for them to separate. So I'm going to do 3 this way and then 5 this way. So after you've cut them, what you want to do is leave them to set for around 30 to 40 minutes, just so they can like bond together a little bit more. If you take them out of the pan now, then they will just disintegrate and they'll just fall apart, and obviously you don't want that. So yeah, after you've cut them, leave them to set for about 30 to 40 minutes and you're done.